While your day is winding down, they're just getting started. This is South Coast Tonight with Chris McCarthy and Marcus Farrow. They've got you covered on all the news of the day, from local issues to politics on both sides of the aisle. This is the place where the movers and shakers come to be heard, to listen, and where they're held accountable. This is South Coast Tonight on WBSM.
And welcome back to South Coast Tonight. I'm Chris McCarthy. As always, Marcus Farrow is here as well. We'll look to be joined by our guest, Jarrod Tillinghast. Jarrod's going to explain to us his latest endeavor. Jarrod has been with us before. He's a professional boxer, retired now from boxing, and a very well-known man in the Rhode Island and Massachusetts sporting community. So we're now joined by Jarrod Tillinghast. Jarrod, good evening. How are you, my friend?
Chris, how are you, my friend? Nice hearing from you. Long time no talk.
Long time no talk, and we're all sorry about the loss of your father.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
So, Jarrod, I know there was a big story in the Providence Journal yesterday, Sunday paper, the big one of the week. Channel 6 had a story about it. Why don't you tell the folks at home what's going on? What are you doing now?
Well, first, for Tillinghast to be on the front page of the Providence Journal for something positive.
I was surprised nobody was dead, to tell you the truth, Jarrod.
Yeah, right?
Right.
I'm about to change the legacy for the name in Rhode Island. That's always been my goal. But, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
What are you involved in? What are you doing? Tell the folks.
Oh, Brawl for It All. I started Brawl for It All maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I started running events in New England. Brawl for It All is we settle street grudges in the boxing ring with a sanction. You get trainers. You really go live the experience like you're a fighter, but you're just a regular Joe. Maybe you got a job, but maybe your neighbor's dog is pooping on your lawn. And, who knows, somebody slept with somebody's wife, and everybody has a grudge.
Right.
But in this day and age, everybody's shooting each other. So they don't do it old school like we used to do it.
Right.
At least when I was growing up, I didn't have to worry about a gun.
Well, you could put people to sleep with one shot, but anyway.
Well, I mean, it's still though, it's just a different time. You can't do that stuff anymore. You can't get in a fight because a lot of people losing their lives. So we came up with the concept to, settle your score, settle your grudge in the boxing ring with an agreement that you shake hands and make up after the fight.
So, Jarrod, Brawl for It All. You've been doing that for a couple of years. I remember a few years ago you came here on the program to promote it. But you guys are getting even bigger. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, God is working. I got to say, life has been a little difficult as of late, but, I persevere through things, and it's part of life. There's going to be storms, and there are going to be sunny days. So I just kind of been going through it, and you want to talk about timing. I have been in contact with Damon Feldman, who owns Celebrity Boxing. He's the CEO of Celebrity Boxing. He has Snoop Dogg, Roy Jones, the list of celebrities goes on. And I had made friends with Damon about 4 or 5 years ago. And I've always stayed in touch with him and constantly talking to him. And I was cheering him on, and then he kept his foot on the gas during the pandemic. And he landed I think it was Dennis Rodman or something. And the rest was a snowball effect. After that, he just started getting all the big name celebrities. So I've been friendly with him, and we've been on the phone a few times talking. And I would told him about the concept I had with Brawl for It All, and he really loved it. He really loved the concept, so he was interested in it. But he waited 4 or 5 years, and nothing really happened. But we still talked all along. The other night, Tuesday night, I pick up my kids and I pull up to the boxing gym in North Providence, Rhode Island, and I pulled in front of the gym. I parked the car, and I look up, and Lamar Odom walks in front of my car.
Wow.
How you doing, buddy? Good. Yeah, Lamar Odom walks, right in front of my car, so I'm like, wait, that's Lamar Odom. I jump out of the car. Now, I remember Lamar Odom had something to do with celebrity boxing because I was watching him on there, and Damon told me that he had bought like 5% of the company. So I right away, my eyes lit up, and I'm like, oh, hey, Lamar. So I jump out of the car, and I'm like, hey, Lamar, what's going on? He's like, hey, buddy, what's up? And I was like, oh, can you come over here? I got to show you something. I'm trying to get him in my gym to take pictures with my kids.
Right.
So he's like, I got to go. I'm like, no, I got to show you. And I kind of walked over to him, put my hand on his back, and we started walking in the gym. And he came with me, and next thing you know, the whole gym's going crazy. He took some pictures with my kids and me, and I said to Lamar, this is what I have. What do you think of this concept? And he was like, oh, I like that. Do you have a card? So I gave him my card, and he FaceTimed me when he got in the car. And he said, my manager's going to be calling you right now or texting you. So 2 seconds later, his manager texts me. And his manager on the text, it was like, Lamar's interested in your concept, blah, blah, blah. You want to get on the phone in a little while? So I snapped that picture. I snapshotted that message, and I sent it to Feldman, the celebrity guy. And Damon called me right up. He's like, what is that? Where'd you see Lamar? I'm like, I don't know. He's at my gym. I pulled up, and he walked in front of my car. It was the night of my dad's 1-year anniversary of passing.
Right.
Pretty crazy stuff.
That is.
So I ended up, Damon ended up talking to me for a little while, and then I told him that Lamar loved the concept, and he put me on hold. He called his manager, and his manager was in Rhode Island the Friday after that, and we had a deal, and he came here tonight to Providence to sign the deal and announce our first venue together.
So just for people who don't know, Lamar Odom was an NBA basketball player. He actually played at URI, played for the Clippers, played for the Lakers, a few other teams. And your basically chance encounter with Lamar Odom is what sort of kickstarted this whole thing.
Exactly. Like, we've been talking about it for a long time, but when Lamar Odom walked in front of the car and I started talking to him and sending the snapshots to Damon, it was like instantly happened, and he just called me. He's like, you know what, it's time right now, and he just said it was time, and he called his manager, and it was crazy. It's just God showing up, It was a good thing, and I still can't believe it. And he's sitting with me right now.
So we're speaking with Jarrod Tillinghast, who's a promoter out of Rhode Island. What's the name of your gym again, Jarrod?
I own Legendary Boxing.
Where's that?
That's in North Providence, Rhode Island.
So, where are we going from here? What's the next big thing you guys are going to do?
Well, we're going to start settling grudges. We got a June 10th venue in West Warwick, Rhode Island. We're going to do a pay-per-view. We're going to bring TV to the table. We're going to get some celebrities there. Maybe a celebrity main event. We got a little time. Tonight we just announced our merge, and then we're going to be working on the fight from now until. And, a grudge, they submit their videos telling us, what their grudge is, who they are, and they call out the person they want to fight.
Where do they submit the videos to if they'd like to get involved, Jarrod?
Brawlforitall.com. It's Brawl4, 4,
So if someone here in the New Bedford area has a beef with their neighbor or someone else on a fishing boat, whatever it is.
You can contact me on my Facebook, Jarrod Tillinghast, JARROD TILLINGHAST. You can contact me on my Facebook. You can contact Damon Feldman, Celebrity Boxing. You could go to the website, Brawl for It All, and submit a video there, actually doing your call out. And we're kind of looking for, like, colorful, exciting, and somebody, that's of some significance. The unique thing is we get to handpick the grudges, and they get the platform with a pay-per-view. You get that platform that we put you on. It's prime time, and you may have some celebrities in the building. Snoop Dogg, Roy Jones. So I'm excited about this.
Oh, I think it's fantastic, Jarrod.
It's really cool.
I think it's good for the area. I think it's great for you, and I think it's just real quality TV.
Yeah, and it's this. I look at it like this. It's People's Court meets American Idol meets WWE in a boxing ring. Because all around the fight, I could create like characters, and it literally, like when I was doing it in New England, there was some of the fighters were calling themselves the Ghost, the Lip, and everybody knew them as the Ghost and the Lip, and not their real names. So they drew their own fan base, and that's kind of like what I want to do with this. Like we're thinking about like a reality / documentary where you do one fight. If we do a 10-fight card, right? We got 10 fights on one card. Each fight would be season 1, episode 1, and we'll follow them around with the cameras like 24/7 would do. We find out who they are, what their grudge is, and what they do for a living. And along the way, we had Mickey Ward was at the press conference today, Bubo Andrade, Gary Boletto, Vinny Pazienza. We had some Matt Godfrey. We had some some good people there. And
right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put everybody in New England in this series to some extent. Maybe somebody's training in Brockton, and I'll have, Vinny Paz in the gym out there. But I plan on bringing all the influential people in New England together in this series and making the cameos along the way. I got a Vince McMahon Jr. mind.
You do, Jarrod. So again,
yes.
if someone wants to submit a video or reach out to you because they're interested in settling a grudge, how do they do it?
Like I said, my Facebook is Jarrod Tillinghast. You could send me a message, and then we can direct you if you have problems with the Brawl for It All page. But you could reach out to me. I got my Instagram, Jarrod Tillinghast on Instagram, Jarrod Tillinghast Facebook, and you could also send it to Celebrity Boxing, Damon Feldman.
And your gym again is?
Legendary Boxing.
In North Providence.
Yes.
Hey, Jarrod, great project. Really proud of you. I know your father would be proud of you as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for making some time for us tonight, Jarrod.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I got Damon over there. You want to say hello?
Sure, of course.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Hello.
Hey, Damon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
What do you see in Jarrod? What do you think? Where do you think this is going to go?
I think it's going to go to the top. Jarrod's, his determination. We've been friends for a few years, and timing's everything. And now's the time, man. It's just, boxing needs it. The sports entertainment world needs it, and it's going to be a big deal.
So, when is the launch on this again? Just for people who may not have heard, Jarrod.
June 10th at the Warwick Civic Center. It's going to be really big.
We're looking forward. We're looking forward.
TV pay-per-view too.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
No, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Feldman. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting. I remember meeting Jarrod when you had the Chris McCarthy show, and he came in to talk to you for a while. He had a really cool personal story too that I thought was great. Aside from his father's exploits, it was his personal story, his own personal growth. I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, he's a hell of a fighter. He's retired from fighting now. But he was you could look up on YouTube, see his fights from when he's on ESPN.
Absolutely.
He's a real tough guy.
Nice guy,
and I'm
too.
glad things are broken well for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
WBSM.
And welcome back to the show. So, I think that'll be very interesting what Jarrod's doing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool stuff, right?
Cool concept.
It's
a really cool concept, actually.
Yeah. The fact that people can settle their brawls.
Mm-hmm.
And
in a more constructive way.
Right. And now it's going to have a reality TV show component to it.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a nice
deep dive into the roots of the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's going to be a really interesting thing to watch.
No, I do too. I think it's got that.
And apparently some people with some pretty good success in show business.
Right.
Damon Feldman, and Damon Feldman, and Lamar Odom. Again, NBA star.
Right.
6th man of the year, actually. And 2-time NBA champion. He thinks it's a good
Plus
idea, too.
He's part of the Kardashian extended family.
He was, yes.
Well, they have children, don't they?
Yeah, probably.
So he's not gone forever. Once you have kids with someone, that you're part of their life. Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
he's a forever Kardashian.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely.
I knew his name from somewhere.
So, actually...
I'm joking.
Yeah, so someone... I remember when he was in the news one time, and someone said the headlines were Kardashian star or Kardashian's, like, character or something, Lamar Odom. And I remember Scott Van Pelt had, like, a long rant about that because he was like, no, you don't get it. He earned his fame,
Yes.
He worked. He became an NBA star. He's a 2-time NBA champion. He was 6th man of the year. He's an All-American in college. He earned his fame, He wasn't just born into it.
Not the daughter of OJ's lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. The daughter of OJ's kind of lawyer, really, because he was a real estate lawyer.
Who then was just buddies with him, right?
He was just buddies. He was a real estate lawyer. He was buddies with him. And
he gave him the briefcase, right?
Yeah, and Shapiro asked him to just reactivate his license and come on and work on the case with him because he was friends with him.
Right.
And afterwards, he said he had doubts. They don't talk anymore. They didn't talk anymore. They're both dead.
Right.
Most of those lawyers are dead now, aren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah. But Kardashian's dead. But he said, I have doubts. Right, so he didn't talk to him up until his death. 508-996-0500. Good evening,
Marcus.
What's up,
Chris? How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
It's your buddy John from Fairhaven, Marcus.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Good. So, who do I send the bill to for a blown out tire from a manhole cover that's been sinking on my street for the last 2 months?
First I'm hearing of the manhole cover. Did you report it?
I reported it about a week and a half ago, and nobody's taken care of it yet.
Oh.
I called the highway department.
You called the highway department? They haven't taken care of it?
They haven't taken care of it yet.
I'm
gonna call tomorrow and remind them.
You should. I had that same situation and I'm on the BPW. The same situation in front of my house actually, where there was some sinking in, and I think it takes some time to get that going.
Yeah, I haven't blown a tire out yet, but I have a feeling my wife's going to end up blowing her tire out because of the way she drives.
Oh, well,
I'm just getting ready to find out who to call to send the bill to. That's all.
Oh, okay. I'll work on that tomorrow. But we talked earlier about the Fairhaven fire staffing issue. I have a story on WBSM.com. I credited you.
You do? Great.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to go read it. I just happened to turn you on, so I haven't been listening really.
Well,
but I'll check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. Because I know the union president, so I talked to him, and the story's up there, and actually he's going to be on this week. I got to figure out a day to get him on, day and time, but he's going to be on this week to talk about it.
Cool, awesome.
So thank you.
I'll be listening. Thanks, guys. All right, have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Thank you.
508-996-0500 is how you can get on the program this evening. Also, take your messages on the WBSM app chat. So, Chris.
So, Marcus, those app chats are pretty busy.
They are.
They are, right?
Busy, yeah. Sometimes people are honestly awful. And it's like, frankly, because usually it's pretty nice, constructive, conversation.
Sure.
I like it. But sometimes it's really cowardly people who want to say mean stuff about you and me and Tim and Barry, but don't have the gall to call in.
Not usually about me, though, right?
Not usually about you.
No, all right.
No. Mostly about me, Tim, and Barry and Phil.
Right.
But they don't have the fortitude to call in. So they just want to just sort of harp about it in the app chats. But for the most, other than that, it's pretty good conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a good addition to WBSM.
I do.
As I think Tim points out, there are people, not particularly now, but during the day when Tim's on or Barry and Phil are on, that have work obligations. They can't sit on hold. They don't want to be heard on the radio because they're at work or whatever.
Yeah, some people just want to. That's how they prefer to interact. Like
right.
we get app chat messages too. It's just how they prefer to interact, and that's fine. Someone's actually asking to that effect, can you give us an update on the search for the missing woman down the neck? I don't have anything on that
I don't
yet.
either.
If we had something, it'd be on WBSM.com. We'd get an app chat notification on that. And I don't have anything. JJ from Fairhaven, thanks for messaging, but I don't have anything yet. If we do, we'll let you know. But typically, something like that big breaking news, there'd be an app chat message. There'd be an app alert already out. You'd know. Yeah. So,
but stay tuned because we'll have the news if there is any.
Yeah, and if you want to see a picture of the woman, just so you know who she is, where she might be, you can go to WBSM.com because I know that's where the story is. Massive search underway for Fairhaven woman. Her name is Anna Lupa Huggins. She left Raymond Street at home with her family dog on Monday morning, but she didn't come back. And the dog was found by Fairhaven Animal Control around 9:30. So she's the dog.
That's not good.
It's not good. So we're hoping for better news. If we do get it, we'll let you know. I remember when we were missing a 7-year-old man who was living with autism, Kenny, in Fairhaven. They were able to find him pretty quickly.
Okay.
It was like a day or so later. He had actually found an unlocked car over by Rogers School and was like hiding out basically in it. Like,
interesting.
Trying to find. It was cold. He was trying to find warmth.
That's good.
Yeah,
He probably saved his own life.
There was a whole search party and everything for him, and so they were able to recover him. It was a whole big thing.
That's fantastic news.
It was fantastic, yeah. So,
well, we know the Fairhaven police, all the first responders are on the ball here. Mm-hmm. This is a great community. And if she's down the neck, it's a pretty narrow piece of land. Unfortunately, it is close to water.
It is. It's surrounded by water. Yeah. Right. So yeah. There's a lot. There are a lot of people out there that search parties underway, and hopefully they're able to find. Hopefully they're able to find Anna Lupa Huggins again. If you want a picture of her,
is there an age on that, Marcus? Do we have an age?
43.
So she's pretty young. Okay.
Yeah, 43. So we'll keep that. We'll keep an update on that and other things, but we'll also take your calls at 508-996-0500. That's how you can get on the program this evening. We'll also take your messages on the WBSM app. We actually heard he's got no children with Khloe Kardashian, Lamar.
Oh, God bless him.
Yeah, so I've learned that from a...
God bless him.
Yeah.
He got out, probably didn't get out free, but he got out.
A situation like that, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Khloe Kardashian's got a bit more money than he does. So
yeah, you're probably right about that.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he made a lot. He was an NBA. He was an above average NBA player. He probably should have been an All-Star once or twice. Never made it quite to that level, or never got selected. Sometimes it's a matter of luck. Just
of course it is.
Right year, because he's put up All-Star numbers before, but still a pretty well-paid guy. But I doubt. I'm pretty sure Kardashians is $1 billion brand.
Professional athletes, unfortunately, they have some big earning years, but a lot of them don't have residual income.
Well, the thing
professional athletes.
Yeah, the thing is what's interesting about professional athletes is that their salaries are capped, right?
Right.
And you only can make money basically depending on the sport, basically. But from the time, if you're good and you're a productive player, from the time you're in your early 20s to the time you're in your early 30s, right? You've got some anomalies. Some people can play you look at Tom Brady or whatever, and some quarterbacks can last longer now because the game's a little softer.
Yes.
But or in the NBA, there's some players like LeBron James that are just freakishly athletic and have the longevity.
Right. But generally speaking, unless you get a shoe deal, commercials, maybe things like that, but you don't get that residual income,
right?
That you see. Like the Kardashians they're a money machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got all kinds of brands and stuff.
All kinds of stuff. And they're their fame is not conditioned upon their athletic ability.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, or any ability for that matter, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Didn't it all start from a sex tape?
It did. And that kind of all started again just from a guy being OJ's friend and lawyer, right? That's how this whole thing started. So that's sort of where we're at.
Born in the depths of depravity, the whole damn thing, right? A murderer's friend, a sex tape.
Yeah, it's really something. All right, I think we'll probably take a break now, and we'll be right back.
Listen to us live anywhere in the world on the WBSM app.
Make it in.
The voices in the night that cover the news of the day.
I heard the voices too.
Chris McCarthy and Marcus Farrow. More of South Coast Tonight happens now on WBSM.
So Chris.
So Marcus.
What we should close with is now Ward 3 City Councilor Sean Oliver.
Yes.
He issued a statement on the memes that he had sent out, which he admitted were hurtful and offensive to, the LGBTQ community in New Bedford, and he apologized for it. I actually thought the statement was pretty good, to be honest with you. And I'm one of the people who was pretty critical of his his meme sharing, to his face.
Right.
So I think it was a good statement. I think it was a complete statement, and I think moving forward, probably a satisfying one. But it's not really my apology to accept, having said all that.
No, so. I agree with you there, Marcus, that it isn't, nor is it mine. I would say that, generally speaking, City Councilor Oliver is now going to have to grab some signature issues, grab something that's important to Ward 3, and start working on it.
Yeah.
All right? Because everybody sees what most of these complaints were. Quite frankly, if Carmen Amaral's campaign had brought them out a little earlier, they might have had some influence on the election. But the voters have spoken. The people of Ward 3 would like representation, right? They've been without representation for quite a while now. There are some important votes coming up in the city council that before we asked, Marcus, you and I asked about them during the debate that we had with both Carmen Amaral and Mr. Oliver. And now those things are going to come up.
Yeah.
And it's not a question. It's going to be Mr. Oliver voting on them.
Yeah.
We've got Carol Pimentel. We're going to start budget hearings soon.
Yeah.
We've got other appointments to various boards that are going to have to come up.
Yeah.
There are going to be other procedural votes. I think that that there's going to be some other serious votes coming up.
Yes, there's going to be some
council.
very serious votes, and we're going to talk more. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. We've got a pretty big announcement coming tomorrow on that.
Right.
So there's work to be done. That doesn't diminish, like I said, I think the need for Oliver to apologize, and I think he clearly and unequivocally did here.
Okay, and people can read it at WBSM.com.
Yeah,
right?
You can read it. Again, I'm not the person to whom is needed an apology, so I can't accept that apology on anybody's behalf. So it's up to the people who were offended by the LGBTQ plus memes. I personally think the minimum wage meme was the most offensive. But having said all that, I've been critical of Oliver. I think he's apologized pretty completely on this. We'll see what the response is, but he strikes me just from meeting him as a good guy,
right,
who made some indiscretions. And
yes.
I think there was a lot of talk. And I think criticizing those indiscretions were necessary. And I think there was a lot of talk from people who crawled up his predecessor's ass about a potential indiscretion that were now saying lay off Sean.
Right.
And I think that includes some of the candidates in the race and all of that. That crawled up, and I think that includes Mr. Oliver, who crawled up his predecessor's ass and made some comments about indiscretions that he may have made, but then now we're saying, whoa, hold on, lay off Sean for these transphobic memes.
So, Marcus, you and I, during the entire time of the special election, we were telling people both on the air and off the air, Hugh Dunn's on the ballot.
Yeah.
So you can keep kicking the hell out of him, but it's not getting you anywhere, right?
Right.
And quite frankly, now Mr. Oliver is going to have to be as good as Hugh Dunn really was on the city council.
Exactly.
Despite the fact that he got in a car accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Got in a car accident.
Yeah.
But he brought forth some signature legislation.
Mm-hmm.
The tax issue with the theft of people's equity in their homes.
Yeah.
The Officer Cassidy bill. Numerous labor issues in the city council.
Well, the home equity theft, the Officer Cassidy bill, the health care debate on whether or not to invoke sections 21 to 23. There's a reason he got all the union support.
Right.
Those public safety motions he had about a couple of years ago, which had a big impact on the conversations. There's a lot that he did, and so. Again, I just wanted to and I think there was a lesson for Mr. Oliver and maybe other people to learn how heavily scrutinized you are once you enter public life.
Very, very correct.
Right? Once you and I know this, and I think everybody here knows this, and I think now Mr. Oliver knows this, that when those lights shine a little bit brighter, that it can,
it shows your pimples.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And so if you make an indiscretion like Mr. Oliver had made, it's going to come out. It's going to be a discussion, and it's an important one, because I think when I had Ross Grace on, he said something really important. He said, I think the kids had a right to be concerned because city officials need to take care of what they say because of our ability to shape policy. We make policy.
Right.
So we could make policy that could affect people in an adverse way.
Yes.
And so people are, everything you say carries the weight of the power that you have, and you've got to be careful about what you do. Again, he shared those before he knew he was going to run for office. It really doesn't matter that it was 2 years ago because he's still, fully grown person, but I think he apologized completely for it. I think I think, and again, not my apology to accept, I think that if that apology is accepted by the community, it's a good start. It's a good place to move on, on and start the work.
Here's my thought process on it, Marcus, is that because those memes did not impact me, and I don't happen to be part of some of those marginalized communities, right? Mm-hmm. I listen to those folks because when I don't quite understand, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to explain this. I think it's pretty obvious, but when I don't understand something, I listen to the people that do, all right? So when I see something that doesn't impact me, but it does impact somebody else, to the point where they're out protesting, I listen to them because... Mm-hmm. Particularly because I don't see it that way. Okay, well, that's because I'm not part of that community, all right?
Exactly.
So I'm not as in tune, right?
Exactly it.
So what I see, what I think Mr. Oliver probably saw, didn't give it a second thought, just put it on his Facebook. When I realized, gee, that stuff really bothered those people, obviously, right? You need to listen to them, right? Now, I don't think that he did it to be hurtful.
No.
But it clearly did hurt people when they saw it.
Absolutely.
But so his intent was just screwing around. But that's what made it so hurtful.
Exactly.
To these other people, which is something I think I've kind of learned through this conversation.
508-996-0500. Good evening.
Apparently it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings when kids start chanting F white men,
So, Carlos, I think you did a hell of a good job by recording that down, because that was part of the conversation. Now, I didn't hear about it until you brought it up and I saw the video.
I think that's feigned outrage, to be honest with you.
New Bedford Light hasn't spoken about it. They've made men
New Bedford Live has it, though.
New Bedford Light, yeah.
No, New Bedford Live has it.
Oh, of course, because we always cover what others refuse or just don't, It's just the way it works, I guess. It's just, it's disappointing because, you have, the chair of the Woman Democratic Caucus from Rhode Island, using children for political gain to try and get someone that aligns more with her beliefs in politics. And they made this fake outrage about some some memes.
Again, I don't think the outrage was fake. I think it was
we
well
have
played.
the same kids chanting F white people.
That, I think, is feigned outrage. Well,
why,
You
though?
define that.
I think it was a big deal, really. When I
You
saw
think it was a big deal?
Well, I mean, the fact that you're on school grounds with a bullhorn screaming, "Screw white men."
I think
nobody stopped them and nobody's spoken about it. I mean, I have a certain amount of reach, but you guys have a direct reach, and I'm not saying you.
I mean, Barry was talking about it. I heard Barry talking about it earlier today.
I just wonder why they thought it was okay to do it.
That's right. Barry did talk.
Well, here's my whole thing on it. It's not comparable to the derogatory memes towards transgender, because white men are the majority group. They are not an oppressed minority, or they are not a marginalized group like transgender, like LGBTQ individuals. So again, it's not.
Look at those memes as there are differences in belief. Some people don't believe that men dressed as women should be allowed.
Right. We understand that, but there was obviously the.
So I don't understand the outrage there. I mean, aren't people entitled to their beliefs, and should we be forced to allow grown men that we don't know their intentions to go into?
So here's the thing.
Bathrooms dressed as women?
So here's the thing. I mean,
where do we draw the line, Marcus?
Here's the thing, Carlos. I think that, first of all, I think you're mischaracterizing, transgender men and women more generally. But
no, because there are people that will take.
Okay, all right. So here's my whole thing. Everybody's saying, so and so has a right to say this. So and so has a right to believe that. Guess what? That was never in question, right? His right to say or right to believe, or anybody's right to say or ever right to believe anything, that was never in question. But just like he had a right to say and believe that, so did the students who wanted to protest it, right? And so did the people who spoke out against it and who were upset about it. His right to say anything, he had a right to say it. No one's saying you can't say it, but people were concerned because he's an elected official, and they said something that they thought was transphobic and discriminatory against them. So they have a right to protest that. Absolutely. So everybody has the right to say whatever they want. But to respond to that in a negative way, just because you believe in it, to say, oh, his First Amendment speech is somehow threatened, I think is a mischaracterization of the issue that they were trying to phrase.
Calculated move by a political force, and because they were disappointed that their candidate didn't win, and now they're going to go to any length, and they're not going to take his apology, and they're going to take those words and they're going to shove it right up his behind when the next election comes. Mark my words. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call, Carlos.
So I would say this, Marcus, that if Sean operates like a solid city councilor, does constituent service work, this issue, well, I don't know if it'll ever go away, but it will not be what people vote on.
I agree.
But if he gets consumed by it,
I agree.
It'll be the end of him.
We got to take this break. We see some calls online. We'll get some when we get back.
If you want to hear everything.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, you're on the air.
I hate to end the night on a note that isn't going to be making either of you guys happy, but
that's all right. We appreciate you calling.
I just don't understand when you guys are calling, like selective outrage, that you don't think one group should be upset because they're not in a minority.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that. I do think that screw white men thing was outrageous and really hurts their entire cause.
I think that's probably true, but at the same time, to feel like you're aggrieved or. Yeah, I think
hate is hate. It's not acceptable. But also, I don't remember any of these groups calling and demanding an apology when a while back, Mr. Dunn was ricocheting off cars in a parking lot.
I think a lot of people demanded apologies. I think Jack Spillane's still asking for it, isn't he?
There were people
there's plenty of people.
Out.
Yeah, but apologizing for what?
Barry wanted to resign.
Yeah, well,
no, he was under a lot of pressure.
He was under a lot of pressure. And by the way...
Right, but I didn't see either of you guys being outraged.
No, I wasn't outraged.
We made fun of him to his face.
I made fun of him to his face. He came to visit me in the hospital, and I told him a lot of things. But the reality is that it was a criminal case, and I wasn't going to demand he become a witness against himself.
A criminal case he was found not guilty in.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to demand he became a witness against himself.
He
was
exactly. Found not guilty.
Right.
But as far as I know, Mr. Oliver hasn't been,